nephew was murdered just right here on State, like the next block. It was August 8th, 2018, and he was 18 years old. He had just got out of juvenile hall. He was home. He was doing great. We were all happy. He finished high school, and he graduated right there at ELAC. They had a little walk, and you know, it was really nice to have him home. And unfortunately, he got murdered. And yeah, his anniversary is coming up, so it's a little bit like our family. We start kind of getting, you know, a little like start moving weird, and you know, but you know, we're all going through shit. All of us, everybody in here, you know, we all fight silent battles all the time. We're all go through things that we don't talk about. And you know, I think it's really important, not just for women, but for men as well, to be vulnerable, to speak up. So it's really nice to have like a space like this, because there's not too many spaces like this, you know. And I've been going through a lot of shit lately, a lot, you know. Devil's trying to fucking, you know, tear me down once again. And every day I'm just pushing through. And you know, if you guys, anybody in here who's going through shit, something, you know, keep going, man, keep going. We all have a purpose here. Everybody, each and one of you has a purpose here, you know. We humans, I read a quote the other day. It said, humans were created to design, to create shit. We were not here to consume. Consuming too much of bad shit will just tear us down. We have to go back to our roots, back to our line, our bloodline, you know, our ancestors. And we need to find that again, you know. So I just wanted to say, you know, it's really nice to have this space out here today. And I'm gonna share something that the Crookz, some of you guys already heard, but I was talking to somebody this week, an individual that we could just relate. So I was like, you know what? Let me just spit this again. So, sorry. It's called Taking Back What's Mine. The birth of my memory started when I was 4. Pure innocence. At night, you could hear my sweet prayers in between the barrio gunplay, followed by sirens while the ghetto birds are up above. By day, you could catch me replaying the movie Selena, dancing away, laughing and mimicking Selena's buzz, building clubhouses out of boxes that were thrown out from a nearby warehouse, wanting to save all the stray cats and dogs who roam the streets. I wasn't prepared for what my life was going to turn out to be. They took it all from me and replaced it with tears, rage, and pain. Mom, why were you always out with different men? I needed you that night. I was so scared once again. The boogeyman came late at night and I squeezed my eyes so tight. To my dad, who made me feel rage for the first time when I was 8, I thought you were dead that day. That day passed out on the floor. I stood there watching your chest to see if you were alive. You were always drinking and always told lies. To my big homie, who I confided in, how could you rob me from my divine? I was only 16, you watched me like prey and took advantage of me and called it a night. I begged God for answers. How could he forget about me? Why didn't anyone ever look out for me? Why me, man? Tears, rage, and pain ran through my veins. My only form of escape to numb the pain was either to drown myself with alcohol or get high and stay up for days. True shit. Some days I wanted to end it all. Some days I could only write to comfort it all. The mind is a beautiful servant, but a dangerous master. It took me years to gain my resilience. My journey started to unfold in the days of 2020 when I took back my existence, my purpose, and my divine, no more self-inflicted homicide.
So this is called No Connection, and just to give you some context, my sister passed away in 2016, and I'm deeply heartbroken over it to this day, so I'm gonna try to get through this. We were sisters, but it was more than that. You were my voice, my fight, my laugh. You raised me when the world felt cold, taught me how to stand and be bold. We shared secrets no one else knew. You were my safe place, my living truth. When I fell, you picked me up fast, how I'm crawling through memories of our past. We were two hearts, one beat, one flame. Now I walk this life whispering your name. I hear your jokes, your wild little schemes. You were the color in all my dreams. But now it's gray, it's quiet, it's wrong, like half my soul is just gone. And people say she's in a better place, but I'd give anything to see your face. I don't feel right in my skin these days, drifting through time in a permanent haze. I think about ending it, not to escape, just to be near you, just to feel safe. But I hold on to this and with hope in my chest that I'll have a daughter and she'll be blessed. With your eyes, your fire, your way to forgive, so through her I'll learn to live. Maybe she'll laugh like you used to do, talk with her hands, be loud and true, and maybe then I'll find a way to smile again, to want to stay. 1,000 dark thoughts run wild in my head. Your name is a whisper I carry in my sleep. Your loss is a wound that cuts way too deep. I'm your baby sis, trapped in the pain, stuck in this world that don't feel the same. Wishing your hug could pull me through, but all that's left is missing you.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for everybody that played a part in making this space happen. I feel that spaces like these are so magical. You really get to see and hear a lot of what's in someone's soul. So I appreciate everybody that has gone before me. My name is Kimberly Gudino. I am a daughter of a street vendor. And so the first time I performed this piece, it was a couple months ago, but it's something that deeply touches my heart. As you all may know, when it comes to the street vendor struggle, there's a lot of videos that went viral of street vendors getting attacked. Back in when COVID hit, right, 2020, videos went viral of that happening in different cities throughout California. And so that broke my heart because in what I see in those street vendors, I also see my mom. My mom has been a street vendor for over 20 years. Till this day, she sells fruta in the streets of South Sacramento. I'm from Sac, but I love LA. It's like a second home, and I got family here too. And so this poem is called Protect Street Vendors. Protect street vendors at all costs and at all levels. They are mothers, fathers, our favorite tias y abuelos. To make ends meet, they walk notorious streets. From Market Street to Florin Road to MacArthur Park, they make the hood pop. Pop in color, in culture, and flavor that reconnects us to our home. Pop in color, in culture, and flavor that lights up our world. Pop in color, in culture, and flavor that takes me home. My favorite is the corn con mayonesa, queso y Valentina, y también los raspados de vainilla. That's the order that makes me feel warm, that makes me feel safe, and that's the order that makes me feel connected to my mother's grace. You see, street vendors provide more than just food. Every item comes with a side of nostalgia, a feeling that feels so good. It keeps me grounded and it waters my roots. The streetcar and colorful umbrella is iconic. You'll find it in every hood. It is a symbol of resilience, hard work, and perseverance, and from my experience, that is the truth. There's something about them that inspires. Maybe it's the way they navigate through this effed up world and still show up with a smile. Or maybe it's the way that they're the most vulnerable and simultaneously the bravest. There's no doubt in my mind that my people are the greatest. So at all costs and at all levels, we must honor and protect street vendors. With love, a daughter of a street vendor. Thank you. For some little additional context, everything street vendor related, I'm on the lookout for it. All throughout California, what's happening. And so when I was writing this poem, I know I want to add to this. It's not done. But I had in mind the street vendors who were robbed, shot, and killed in the Central Valley in Fresno, Lorenzo Perez, Juan Rivera, and in LA, in Gardena, we have Elias. And so I always keep them in mind because they also have their families, their little ones, you know? So every time I walk into space, it's very important for me to wear something that's cultural related, right? So I have my huaraches, mi pulserita, just because we're living in some times where people are trying to make us ashamed of who we are, right? And we bring so much beauty and color into space, and it's so important to show that. And that's my little way of being able to come into this space with a lot more power. So thank you again for providing this space. Appreciate it so much.
Everyone, just thank you for organizing this and creating this space. You know, it's always very nice being in community and hearing people be vulnerable. I think we all heal together in that way. It's been a minute since I've been in front of a mic, so I also haven't really written new stuff. So this might sound familiar to my Brownishes folks.
That's my favorite one.
So just a little context. Recently, I was like scrolling through my TikTok and had seen a video about like this mom and like the expectations she had of her daughter, who like she wanted her to be, and how she wasn't meeting that. And like it made me like wonder and ask my mom like did you have any expectations of me? Because I don't really feel like my mom was just like, I just didn't want you to get pregnant. I just didn't want you to get involved in anything that was bad for you. I just like that was like my main thing. Like I didn't care if you went to college, like as long as like you weren't pregnant and nothing happened to you, like I was happy with that. So I asked her like, so like did you see college for me? Like is that something that you wanted? And she told me like yeah, I just didn't know what that looked like, but not that I didn't believe in you, it's just like it's something that, you know, our parents are not used to. And so when I told her, I was like, so like did I fulfill like I guess like what you expected of me? And she told me like, yeah, like you exceeded that. I think that I graduated 2023. I was going through a lot of personal things throughout that time. I think I really downplayed like me graduating from UC Berkeley as like a first generation Chicana, like born and raised in Compton. And so this poem really like, I think as a lot of like students of color at like institutions like Berkeley, there's like complicated feelings that you have, contradictions of how you feel, especially like universities that contribute to genocide, to like gentrification of communities, to the over-policing and criminalization of students. I think that a lot of us could probably relate like conflicting feelings, so this is kind of like a poem that I wrote about that. Dear self, I come from a long line of men who periodically cross the US-Mexican borders for exploitative work in the fields of California and Texas, and from women who were left alone to care for and tend to their extended families in Mexico. The goal was never to stay in the United States. My papa would tell me we worked in those fields from sunrise to sunset every day and barely had enough money to get by. What kind of life is that? My abuelito told me he was so proud of me for attending college, the first one in the family. I will be a powerful and important woman one day, he said. You will be able to get a good job and be happy. You won't have to struggle like us, porque la vida indocumentada es una chinga. I always loved learning, but my father took me out of school when I was in 3rd grade to start working with him in the cotton fields of Texas, he explains. My cousins tell me, damn, prima, Berkeley's like an Ivy League, you know? I bet you worked your ass off to get there. Handles. Someone in the family has to do it. My homegirls remind me, ciao, hey, you see Berkeley student over here. She don't do it for the gram, she do it for Compton. My tios and tias give me the biggest hugs and tell me how proud they are of me, and if I could convince and help my cousins to start college too. Mis hermanos tell me they can never be as smart as me, but we are no different. My mom doesn't say much, but I know I'm her most prized possession. Her niña, all grown up and independent. She never thought her seed would thrive in this gringo world. It wasn't because she did not believe in me, she just didn't know what that looked like. See, she could only go to school up to 6th grade. Education was a privilege she could not afford. A stranger riding his horse kidnapped my grandmother's abuelita, my great-grandma, in her own home in the Sierras of Guanajuato. She escaped only to come back to her husband, accusing her of cheating and beating every part of her body until his death. The trauma my great-grandmother had to endure was passed down through her womb to my abuelita, and then to my mother, and then to me. There was never any affection or I love yous. Her nurturing and love always prevailed not through words, but with actions. And her caldo de pescado and her delicious warm atole. Little do they know that these women in my ancestral lineage passed something more important than the trauma. They gave me the strength to survive. My papa, mi viejito, he thought he was never gonna see me again. When I took him away, my world collapsed. Mi corazón could not bear seeing my protector behind the bars of a prison cell. Every night we prayed over a Section 8 apartment window in Cape Town to La Virgencita in San Judas for a miracle of reunification. Fuck ICE, and I say that with my chest. Abolish every prison and every border. Free all of our loved ones. All of my life I thought I had to become what my ancestors and family couldn't achieve. I thought strapping myself by the boots and doing everything I needed to complete the quote American dream was happiness, even at the cost of my own mental health. Happiness was ignored the generational state-sanctioned trauma inflicted and passed on down to me. See, I am now liberated from the affect of el sueño americano. Although I thank my friends and family for their support and orgullo, it's still fuck this westernized university on stolen, lonely land. May this be a reminder when you feel inadequate walking through these privileged and settler colonial halls that all the wisdom and knowledge you need is already inside of you. It stems and grows from those who came before you in the physical and spiritual world. To the gringos, this knowledge is not academic. Academic knowledge will not liberate us. Ancestral and community knowledge will. Remembering and retelling the ancestors' stories and how they survived and resisted in times of trouble will free us. Our spiritual connections will provide us with guidance and solace. Even during the worst possible personal and collective events, our joy is seated in faith, not circumstances or material objects. Thank you.